Okay, so welcome again to Labor Standards and Social Legislation. So for this video, we will discuss about Title 3 of the Labor Code of the Philippines on working conditions for special groups of employees. So first is employment of women. So under Article 130, the Secretary of Labor establishes standards that will ensure the safety and health of women employees. For number one is uh, the employers are required to provide seats proper for women and permit them to use such seats when they are free from work and during working hours. So bawal na for the entire 8 hours na work, nakatayo yung female employee. Kailangan meron ng seats. Second is mag-establish ng toilet rooms, separate toilet rooms for men and women. At provide also dressing room for women. Third is yung mga nursery in a workplace. If for example, merong anak yung female employee. To determine appropriate minimum age and other standards for retirement or termination in special occupations such as those of flight attendants and the like. Now, let's go to maternity leave benefits. Kapag ikaw ay babae at buntis ka, so meron kang right to maternity leave benefits. Kailan mo ba maa-avail itong maternity leave benefits? So let us visit yung bagong law regarding maternity leave benefits. So here is the new law, Ito, IRR ito from Department of Labor and Employment. So, basahin natin dito kung ano yung mga benefits under this law. So, sino yung mga covered ng maternity, ng expanded 105-day expanded maternity leave law? Yung mga female workers in the public sector, allowed sila na mag-avail nito. Female workers in the private sector, female workers in the informal economy, female workers who are voluntary contributors to the social security system. So, kahit na wala kang work pero naghuhulog ka ng contribution sa SSS, then makaka-avail ka nito. At saka female national athletes. So, ano yung mga benefits dito na granted? Number one is doon sa mga public sector na mga female workers, 105 days for live birth. Regardless of the mode of delivery, it's either normal yan or cesarean. So 105 days yung allowed sa'yo na leave with pay. Take note, merong bayad. And an additional 15 days paid leave if the female worker qualifies as a solo parent. So kung wala kang husband or hiwalay ka sa husband mo at wala siya at the time na nagbubuntis ka, so you are qualified for an additional 15 days paid leave. Pero kailangan ma-qualify ka solo parent. And kapag merong miscarriage, meaning to say, nakunan ka, hindi successful yung birth ng bata, so yung paid leave mo is only 60 days. Second is kung nasa private sector na covered by the SSS, paid leave benefit 105 days pa din for live birth, again regardless of the mode of delivery, kahit normal or cesarean. And kapag ikaw ay solo parent, meron kang additional 15 days paid leave. At kung merong miscarriage, 60 days. Employed female workers shall receive full pay which consists of SSS maternity benefit completed based on their average daily salary credit and salary differential to be paid by the employer, if any. An option to extend for an additional 30 days without pay in case of live childbirth. So, kunyari, you are on a recovery period at hindi mo kayang mag-work agad after 105 days. So, pwede kang mag-ask for 30 days extension. Pero yung extension na yan is without pay na. Wala nang sweldo. Paid maternity leave allowances and benefits granted to female national athletes. Healthcare services for prenatal, delivery, postpartum, and pregnancy-related conditions. Okay, so Okay, yun siya ang maternity leave benefits. Now, let's go back to our main discussion, no? And wala na yan, no? Wala na yung 2 weeks, 4 weeks, kasi 105 days na. Pero provided, meron kang 6-month service, no? At least, in the past 12 months. So, kung nabuntis ka ngayon, dapat mag-count ka backwards, no? Dapat at least nag-6 months ka na sa company para maka-avail ka ng maternity leave benefits. And take note that yung maternity leave benefit is ma-avail mo yan only for the first 4 deliveries. 4 deliveries, no? Kung ika-5th na, so hindi ka na makaka-avail ng maternity leave benefit. Meron din tayong leave for victims of VAUSI, yung mga babae na binubugbog or victims of violence, no, by their partners or spouses. Meron silang leave, no, na 10 days paid leave of absence. Meron din tayong gynecological leave, surgery leave, no, for women. Kapag ikaw ay nagpa-surgery related sa gynecological disorder. Aside from that also, meron tayong parental leave, yung sa mga solo parent. It's either male or female solo parent, no, to enable him or her to perform parental duties. At meron niyang conditions na not more than 7 working days every year. At saka, yung solo parent, dapat nakarender na siya ng 1 year service sa kanyang employer. And take note that this is on top, no, separate and distinct, no, benefit. So makaka-avail ka nito, makaka-avail ka din ng other benefits. Ano pa? Yung for women, discrimination prohibited. Bawal po i-discriminate yung mga women employee merely by reason of her sex, no, or solely on account of her sex. Na dahil sa babae siya, ayaw mo siyang i-hire. So that is a discrimination. So ano yung mga acts of discrimination? Number 1 is mababa yung sweldo na ibibigay mo sa kanya. Hindi mo siya ipopromote, mas ipoprefer mo yung male employee than her. Even if parehos lang naman yung trabaho nila, pareho naman yung performance nila, etc. So that these acts, no, itong 1 and 2 are considered as acts of discrimination, which are criminally kapag nag-commit yung mga employer niyan is merong criminal liability. So makukulong ka, no? Now, stipulation against marriage, anong ibig sabihin nito? Meron kasing mga employer na sa contract nila, pinagbabawalan nila yung employee nila na mag-asawa. Pero explicit po ang batas natin na bawal po na pagbawalan yung employee na mag-asawa. That is prohibited, no? Kasi under Article 134, it shall be unlawful for an employer, number 1, to require as a condition of employment. Meaning, bago mo siya i-hire, i-condition mo siya na, sige, pag hindi ka mag-asawa, i-hire kita. So, bawal yon. To expressly or tacitly that upon getting married, a woman employee shall be deemed resigned. Ibig sabihin na kapag nag-asawa ka, itatanggal kita dito. So that is prohibited under the law. And to dismiss, no, tanggalin mo, i-discharge or i-discriminate mo siya merely by reason of her marriage. Pero remember, yung Duncan Association of Detailman, PTGW versus Glaxo Wellcome Philippines, yung pinag-usapan natin sa first natin na discussion na generally, bawal talaga na pagbawalan yung babae na empleyado na mag-asawa. So, hindi pwedeng i-prohibit mo sila. Pero, under this case, ito, i-highlight natin, sabi ng Supreme Court dito, valid dito yung prohibition against marital relation. Kasi, yung gustong gusto na i-asawa, ano ba sa Tagalog yan, ng employee is yung employee ng competitor company. So, ang reason behind the prohibition is para maprotektahan yung trade secrets, no, at saka yung mga formulas no, ng company. So, sabi ng Supreme Court, valid yung prohibition. So, bawal talaga na makipag-asawa ka sa employee ng competitor company by reason of company's interest, no? Yung kanilang trade secrets and the like, no? So, mayayari, pwedeng mag-resign ka na lang para matuloy yung kasal mo, no, sa employee ng competitor company. So, hindi pwede. So, yan yung exception to the rule, no, na generally, bawal talaga na pagbawalan yung empleyado na mag-asawa. Pero dito sa Duncan Association of Detailman, PTGW versus Glaxo Wellcome Philippines, inalaw ng Supreme Court na pwedeng pagbawalan yung babae na empleyado na mag-asawa ng employee ng competitor company. So take note of that case, ha? So Article 135, Prohibited Acts. It shall be unlawful for any employer to deny any woman employee the benefits provided for in this chapter. So bawal ka mag-deny ng benefits sa woman employee. Or tanggalin mo yung woman employee dahil nabuntis siya. That is bawal. Or hindi mo siya tanggapin, no? Kapag magbalik siya ng work, no, after siya nanganak. So bawal din 'yon. Okay? Kasi merong case na yung babae is nag-leave siya kasi nga buntis siya, manganganak siya. Nganong pagbalik niya sa employment, hindi na siya tinanggap. So that is bawal, no? That constitutes a prohibited practice, a discrimination. And therefore, the employer may be criminally liable. Now, let's go to employment of minors. So, mga minors naman tayo. General rule, no child below 15 years of age shall be employed. So, bawal talaga mag-employ ng minor below 15 years of age. Exception to the rule is, number one, kapag sa parents siya nagtatrabaho, no, may business yung family nila at saka doon siya pinagtrabaho, that is an exception to the rule. Second is, dapat yung employment niya is hindi maka-interfere sa schooling niya. Okay? So kapag ang bata is between 15 years of age and 18 years of age, pwede na siyang ma-employ, no? Pwede na siyang ma-employ provided ito yung ating policy. Number one, kapag ikaw ay below 15 years of age, di ba sabi natin bawal talaga pag below 15. Allowed ka lang kung nag-work ka sa parents mo or sa guardian mo. And only members of the child's family are employed. And second, kapag hindi yan nakaka-interfere, no, sa schooling mo. And meron tayong additional itong engage in public entertainment or information. Di ba kung mapansin nyo, may mga bata na nag-i-income na ngayon. So they are working children in public entertainment or information. So below 15, allowed yon. Pero ito yung condition. Dapat sa isang week, hindi dapat sumobra ng 20 hours yung kanyang service or work. Not more than 4 hours a day. So 4 hours, hanggang 4 hours lang, no, kada araw yung work ng minor child. At saka, hindi pwedeng mag-work from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. the following day. So hanggang 8 o'clock in the evening lang yung minor child below 15 years of age. Pag 15 naman, but below 18 years, ito, 40 hours per week na. So, allowed ka ng 40 hours. Pero hindi pwede sumobra ng 40 hours. Not more than 8 hours a day. And bawal yung 10 o'clock in the evening and 6 o'clock in the morning. In between this time, so bawal. Pag more than 18 years old ka na, edi wala nang bawal, no? Magagovern na yung ordinary na rules, no? Like 8 hours a day, 48 hours per week, yung ganon. And provided that bawal kang mag-employ ng mga minor kapag dangerous sa kanila yung environment kung saan sila magtatrabaho. So bawal mag-model yung minor children in any advertisement directly or indirectly promoting alcohol beverages, intoxicating drinks, ayan, gambling, and any form of violence or pornography, bawal po. Article 138, prohibition against child discrimination. No employer shall discriminate against any person in respect to terms and conditions of employment on account of his age. Nang dahil siya ay minor, kaya mo siya dinidiscriminate, hindi pwede. Now, let's go to domestic workers. Di ba sabi natin doon sa first part nitong working conditions na hindi siya nag-a-apply sa mga domestic workers kasi nga, sabi ko, merong batas no na para sa mga domestic workers, separate yung kanilang batas. Ayan. Ang tawag natin sa batas na yan is Batas Kasambahay or Domestic Workers Act. So, yung mga salient points lang yung pag-uusapan natin dito ha. Sino ba yung makonsider na domestic worker or kasambahay? Any person engaged in domestic work within an employment relationship such as but not limited to the following. General house help. Okay? Nursemaid. Or yaya, yung nagbabantay ng mga bata. Cook, nagluluto sa bahay nyo. So, makonsider siya as kasambahay or domestic worker. Gardener or laundry person. But shall exclude any person who performs domestic work only occasionally or sporadically. Anong example nito? Like, mataas na yung mga grass ninyo sa bahay nyo, around sa bahay nyo, di ba? So, ngayon nag-hire ka ng yung magputol ng mga grass. So kapag hindi naman yan regularly ginagawa, so that is occasional lang, no? So pwedeng hindi siya ma-consider as kasambahay, like once a month lang. So hindi siya mako-consider na kasambahay or once in 2 months, 'di ba? Yung ma-consider talaga as gardener is yung lagi talaga regularly no na nag-trim no, inaalagaan niya yung garden mo, etc. Sino yung mga hindi pa kasali dyan? Yung mga family drivers, hindi pala sila kasambahay, okay? You cannot call them kasambahay. Service providers, hindi rin, no? Household, ito, importante din, refers to the immediate members of the family or the occupants of the house that are directly provided services by the domestic helper. So ano yung mga rights and privileges ng domestic helper? Standard of treatment. So yung mga nakikita natin sa movies no na inaapi-api nila yung mga kasambahay nila, bawal po 'yon, no? Bawal po na tayong mag-abuse nor mag-inflict ng any form of physical violence or harassment or any act tending to degrade the dignity of a domestic worker. Okay? Board, lodging, and medical attendance. So, pwede mag-provide ng basic necessities, no? 3 adequate meals a day, no? Baka hindi mo pakainin yung katulong nyo. And humane sleeping arrangements that ensure safety. So, patulugin mo din yung yaya mo or yung katulong nyo, di ba? Guarantee of privacy, yes. Kailangan, kahit na ikaw yung employer, meron pa ring right to privacy yung employee. Access to outside communication. So, bawal mo na pagbawalan yung domestic worker no, from communicating. Kasi yung iba, binabawalan nila na magkaroon ng cellphone, yung kanilang domestic worker. So, hindi pwede yun. No? Kailangan meron silang access to outside communication. Right? To education and training. So, kung gusto ng domestic worker na mag-aral, so kailangan i-afford yan ng employer, no? Bigyan niya ng pagkakataon, no? Yung domestic worker na mag-aral. So, at meron itong prohibition against privileged information na whatever yung mga information na nakuha or nalaman ni domestic worker sa loob ng family, bawal ngayon na i-divulge sa ibang tao or sa outside. Kung i-divulge niya yung information na yan, yung privilege information na yan, magiging inadmissible siya in evidence, no, kapag ginawang evidence in court. So, hindi siya tatanggapin ng korte. Kasi anything na nalaman ni domestic worker sa loob ng bahay about sa household, dapat confidential yon or privilege. Pre-employment. So, meron ding employment contract, no, for domestic worker. At sa employment contract na yan, nakasaad dyan yung mga duties and responsibilities niya, period of employment, magkano yung sweldo, ano yung mga deductions sa sweldo, hours of work, rest days, and allowable leaves, etc. No? Itong mga naka-enumerate under Section 11. Pre-employment requirement, so you can require, no, the domestic worker to secure a medical certificate or a health certificate issued by a local government health officer, and barangay and police clearance, NBI clearance, and duly authenticated birth certificate, no, or if not available, any other document showing the age of the domestic worker, such as voter's identification card, baptismal record, or passport. Etong deposit for loss or damage, same lang ito na provision doon sa mga prohibition on wages. Tsaka itong debt bondage na kunyari meron siyang utang sa'yo, yung kasambahay mo, tapos ngayon gusto niya nang mag-resign from work, so hindi mo pwedeng i-require siya na service na lang yung ibayad niya, no, sa'yo kasi nga prohibition, no, dahil sa utang niya. Debt bondage ang tawag doon. So ano yung employment age for domestic workers? Dapat above 15 years old and above. Kasi kapag below 15 yan, bawal, no? Bawal ka mag-employ ng katulong na below 15. Kasi ang sabi sa batas, kung below 15 yan, allowed lang siya mag-work kung sa family niya at hindi siya nakaka-interfere sa schooling niya at sa entertainment, no, industry, pwede. Pero kung gawing katulong, hindi pwede. At ito, take note, kahit na working children yan, entitled pa rin sila sa minimum wage kasi bawal tayo mag-discriminate, no, on account of age. Terms and conditions of employment of minor children, of domestic helpers. Meron silang daily rest period na 8 hours per day. So, ibig sabihin, sa 24 hours, 16 hours yung working hours nila. Which is, hindi katulad sa ordinary, di ba? Kasi sa ordinary, 8 hours lang talaga yung working hours per day. Pero for domestic workers, dahil 8 hours lang naman yung kanilang daily rest period, so ibig sabihin niya, 24 hours minus 8 hours, meron silang 16 hours pala yung required na magtrabaho sila. Weekly rest period, so entitled sila to 24 consecutive hours of rest in a week. So same lang din, no, sa ordinary na employee. Paano kung inassign mo yung domestic worker sa non-household work? Sabi dito, kailangan mo siyang bayaran, no, ng minimum wage, applicable minimum wage. Kunyari, meron kang business, ngayon pinabantay mo siya doon sa business mo, hindi naman yun household work. So, entitled na siya sa applicable minimum wage, no? So, aside from his or her salary as a domestic worker. Extent of duty, so pwedeng mag-agree lang, no, si domestic worker at saka sa employer kung ano yung extent ng kanyang duties and responsibilities. So ito, minimum wage. Magkano ba yung minimum wage ng mga domestic workers? Number 1 is kapag nasa National Capital Region ka doon sa Luzon, 2,500, no, yung minimum wage. So not less than 2,500 a month. Kung Kung dito ka naman sa chartered cities and first-class municipalities gaya ng Davao City, 2,000 a month for those employed, no? There. Pero kung doon ka sa mga other municipalities, 1,500 per month. Yun yung minimum wage. And take note, minimum wage lang yan. So, pwedeng pataasin. Basta hindi pwedeng bumaba sa mga amount na ito. So, remember the minimum wage. So, payment of wages, dapat on time, no? Directly ibabayad sa domestic worker. At least once a month. Kasi doon sa regular na employee, di ba, twice a month. Pero sa sa domestic worker, once a month lang ang kanilang sweldo. At same rule, no, bawal yung mga coupons, tickets, tokens, etc. At take note, entitled din sila sa 13th month pay. Ayan, meron din pay slip, no? Entitled din sila na magkaroon ng pay slip. At applicable din sa kanila yung mga prohibition on wages such as bawal magbuot si employer, no, kung saan gagamitin yung pera, yung sweldo ni domestic worker. At bawal din siya mag-withhold ng wages, no, ng domestic worker. Leave benefits. Kapag ang domestic worker ay nakarender na ng at least 1 year service, entitled siya na makareceive ng annual service incentive leave with pay. So sa isang year, meron siyang 5 days na leave, meaning pwede siyang mag-absent, pero may sweldo siya. So that is leave with pay. Pero kailangan at least 1 year nag-work na siya. SSS and other benefits, entitled din si domestic worker. Ayan, post-employment, termination of service. Neither the domestic worker nor the employer may terminate the contract before the expiration of the term, except for grounds provided for in Section 33 and 34. So kapag meron kayong term, like 1 year, so bawal daw na mag-terminate ng service si domestic worker at saka si employer. Maliban na lang kung yung ground niya is under Section 33 at Section 34. So ano yung Section 33? Ito. Kapag merong si domestic worker, pwede na siyang mag-terminate ng kanyang employment relationship at any time kapag merong verbal or emotional abuse. Inaabuso siya ng employer. So kahit na hindi pa niya natapos yung period o yung contract nila, term, pwede na siyang umalis, no? Inhuman treatment, no? Or physical abuse. Commission of a crime, no? Baka merong nag-commit ng murder, attempted murder, no? Baka papatayin siya ng employer, so pwede na siyang umalis, no? Kahit na hindi niya natapos yung term. Violation ng terms and conditions of the employment and other standards like 24 hours pinatrabaho si domestic worker, bawal yun. So therefore, the domestic worker can terminate the employment relationship even before the expiration of the contract, no? Any disease, kung nagkasakit si domestic worker or nagkasakit yung employer or member sa household niya, baka mahawa si domestic worker, no? Very contagious and very prejudicial, no, to the health of the domestic worker, then he or she can terminate the employment. And other cases analogous to the foregoing. Section 34, eto si employer naman yung nag-initiate ng termination. Number 1 is kapag merong misconduct or willful disobedience si domestic worker. Nagpabadlong si domestic worker. Gross and or habitual neglect or inefficiency, kanang tapulan o kanang walay paggunahuna sa iyang trabaho. Sigirag neglect, no? So pwede na siya tanggalon, no, bisan pag wala na expire ang kontrata. Fraud or willful breach, like nangilad sa imuha si domestic worker or gikawatan kaniya. Commission of a crime. Yan. Nag-commit ng crime si domestic worker. Violation by the domestic worker of the terms and conditions of employment, like may 16 hours yung work pero 8 hours tulog, 8 hours trabaho. So, ana ang gibuhat ni domestic worker. So, there is a violation of the terms and conditions of employment. And any disease, no, prejudicial to the health, o kung na yung mga sakit like COVID-19, no, kung na positive. So, pwede nga mag-terminate na og employment contract. So, pwede po mag-request og employment certification si domestic worker, no? Kunyari, mag-apply na po siya lain na household or mag-apply na po siya as domestic worker sa lain na family, then para as proof of her experience, pwede po siya mga yung employment certification sa iyang previous employer. Okay? So that's it for domestic workers. Now let's go to home workers. Industrial home workers. So sino ba itong mga industrial home worker? Workers who industrial home worker refers to a worker who is engaged in industrial homework. So what is industrial homework? Refers to a system of production under which work for an employer or contractor is carried out by a home worker at his or her home. Materials may or may not be furnished by the employer or contractor. There is ordinarily very little supervision. Ayan. Okay, basahin nyo lang yan, no? Okay? So, let's go back to doon sa mga mga learnership and apprenticeship agreement. So, okay, so balikan natin itong Title 1 ay Title 2, Training and Employment of Special Workers. So, let's start with apprentices. So, ano bang ang apprenticeship? It means practical training on the job supplemented by related theoretical instruction. Apprentice is a worker who is covered by a written apprenticeship agreement with an individual employer or any of the entities recognized under this chapter. So ano yung mga apprenticeshable occupation? Any trade, form of employment or occupation which requires more than 3 hours of practical training on the job supplemented by related theoretical instruction. So this is more on like mga technical na mga courses. So yung tawag sa kanilang training is apprenticeship. Kasi required na 3 months, no? More than 3 months yung practical training on the job and merong theoretical instruction. So apprenticeship agreement, dyan nakapaloob yung terms and conditions ng apprenticeship. So who can be an apprentice? So the person must be at least 14 years of age, possess vocational aptitude and capacity for appropriate tests, and possess the ability to comprehend and follow oral and written instructions. And who can employ apprentices? Only employers in the highly technical industries. Ayan o, highly technical industries may employ apprentices and only in apprenticeshable occupations approved by the Secretary of Labor and Employment. So, ang example ko nito no is yung mga electrician. Usually nag-apprentice sila sa mga electrical companies kasi highly technical industries yan. So, yun yung example natin sa apprenticeship. So, may sweldo ba yung mga apprentice? The answer is yes. Merong wage, no? Pero yung wage nila is at least 75% no, of the applicable minimum wage. So kung 400 yung minimum wage, so 75% of that, yan yung sweldo ng mga apprentice. Ayan. Yung mga importante lang yung pag-usapan natin dito. So, kailan ba walang compensation yung mga apprentice? Number one is kapag required ng school nila yung pag-training nila. So, that is without compensation. Or training program curriculum, no? Or as a requisite for graduation or board examination. Kaya, yung iba, di ba, nag-OJT, wala namang sweldo, no? So, yan yung reason kasi required sa school. Learners. Sino naman yung mga learners? Sila yung mga persons hired as trainees in semi-skilled and other industrial occupations which are non-apprenticeshable. So hindi siya highly technical no, na industry. And which may be learned through practical training on the job relatively short period of time which shall not exceed 3 months. So kung ang apprentice mag-exceed siya ng 3 months, yung learners hindi. No, hanggang 3 months lang sila. Kailan ba pwede mag-hire ng learners? Number one is kapag walang mga experienced workers available. Second, kapag necessary to prevent curtailment of employment opportunities. And third, employment does not create unfair competition. So ito yung common ngayon, no? Kapag, for example, newbie ka or bata ka pa, pero pwede ka na mag-work, so you can be a learner. No? You can apply as a learner. So learnership agreement, yung tawag natin sa agreement kapag na-hire ka as a learner, no? Yan yung tawag sa agreement. Diyan din nakapaloob yung lahat ng terms and condition ng learnership. So, meron ding salary yung learners. Same sa apprentice, 75% of the applicable minimum wage. And take note here that merong commitment to employ the learners, no? As regular employees upon completion of the learnership. All learners who have been allowed or suffered to work during the first 2 months shall be deemed regular employees if training is terminated by the employer before the end of the stipulated period through no fault of the learners. Handicapped workers. Ayan, pag-usapan natin yung difference between apprenticeship and learnership. Number one is, kapag apprenticeship yan, nasa skilled or highly skilled job, no? Yung kanilang trabaho. Pag learner naman, semi-skilled lang. Non-apprenticeshable. Kapag apprentice, nag-exceed yan ng 3 months, but not more than 6 months. Pero pag learners, it does not exceed 3 months. For apprenticeship, walang commitment to hire the apprentice after the training period. But in learnership, merong commitment to hire the learner. Apprenticeship is governed by an apprenticeship agreement, while learnership is governed by a learnership agreement. In apprenticeship, it is always supplemented by related theoretical instructions, but in learnership, may or may not be supplemented by related theoretical instructions. There are qualifications for the apprentice, no? But in learnership, wala namang express na qualification for learners. So anyone can be learners provided lang yung mga conditions, no, na walang available and hindi siya makakurtail, no, ng employment competition. There are no prerequisites before hiring apprentices, but learnership, merong prerequisites before learners may be validly employed. Ano yun? Yung sabi natin na dapat walang available na employee na capable to do the job, or kapag it should not affect, no, the employment opportunities, or kailangan merong need talaga for learners. Apprenticeship, there is no limitation number of apprentices, but in learnership, hindi ka pwedeng mag-hire ng maraming learners. Dapat up to 20% lang ng total regular workforce. So kung 100 yung employees mo, hanggang 20 ka lang na learners. Now let's proceed to handicapped workers. So sino yung mga handicapped workers? They are those whose earning capacity is impaired by age or physical or mental deficiency or injury. So kailan sila pwedeng ma-employ? When their employment is necessary to to prevent curtailment of employment opportunities and when it does not create unfair competition in labor costs. So just remember, no? Pero ito lang, no, ang kaibahan niya sa learners tsaka sa apprentice. 100% yung kanyang salary, no, of the applicable minimum wage. Okay? So, okay, that ends our discussion for this video. See you next video. Goodbye.